this is dangerous because let's just put things in context. This is not a normal thing. This is not Bill Clinton versus George Herbert Walker Bush with Ross Perot playing spoiler. No, this is Donald Trump. He is a threat to national security. He has threatened our democracy. He caused an insurrection. He has weaponized government against his enemies.
Oh, let's bring in former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin to react. Governor, Donald Trump's a threat to national security. We were just talking about cocaine in the White House, which could have been anthrax or could have been any number of substances or a Chinese spy for that matter. We have a border that's being overrun by people we don't even know what they're bringing across the border. We got malaria in the country for the first time. But Donald Trump is the threat to national security. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and all of a sudden we have a $1.393 trillion deficit this year alone, $200 billion on average per month in this fiscal year. Probably a lot of that going to Ukraine, a war we shouldn't even be involved in. This all under Biden, but yeah, Trump's the problem. Now, the gal who is spewing all of that, Ana Navarro, her name. I would like to say, now who is that? However, I know who she is. And she is part of the McCain-Palin campaign, a leftover from that. And now she's on The View. So that tells you right there who perhaps she is. She is gutless. Last time I ran into her, we were in an elevator at a presidential debate, and she refused to make eye contact with me because she knew that I would bring to her attention who she is, what she's doing as a fake Republican, and she's harming the cause. But this is the same Ana who advocates for abortion using her own family members with special needs, suggesting they should be killed. They're better off, and the world is better off without them. So that is the character of this chick who is spewing that kind of rhetoric.
So Ana Navarro claims to be a Republican. I know you want to talk about Republican name only. There's one, and you point out some of the policies that she's in favor of and some things she's done to you. And then you have Joe Scarborough over at MSNBC, who also claims to be a Republican because a long time ago, a couple of years, he was a Republican congressman. But these people, they're Trojan horses, aren't they?
Yeah, they are Trojan horses, and you know the secular, the mainstream media and entertainment venues, they get sucked into hiring them, tapping into them because they get to claim that they have an R by their name, and you know that doesn't bode well for the judgment of those hiring these folks because they don't believe in the planks of the platform of the Republican Party. They don't believe in individual freedom and protecting and defending our charters of liberty and the God-given liberties that we have, protecting that. They don't believe in what it is that makes up the foundation of the Republican Party.
So you think, is that what this is? So the ladies of The View, she says she's a Republican, there are others. Is what this is about? Do lefties like to see turncoat Republicans or conservatives? They like to see that, makes them feel better about themselves?
It does. And see, we the people are not stupid. We can recognize who these folks are and what they do. And unfortunately, people like that make a lot of good people want to stay away from politics because it's ugly and it's dark and there's so much fakery. There's so many phony characters involved that, you know, people just say, God, that is the dark side. I don't want to be involved. But now more than ever, Eric, we need people involved. We need them to fight for what's right and just ignore the yahoos out there like Ana, like Joe Scarborough, like those rhinos out there who, again, get hired from mainstream media especially and get rich off the fact that, you know, they get to pretend to embrace the Republican or common sense constitutional conservative agenda, and yet they don't. Now more than ever, we need to call them out because our country is at stake. Our sovereignty is at stake. If we don't stand up, ignore them, push them aside and start focusing on what is really important. If anybody in the last week or two has gone to the movie Sound of Freedom, for instance, and they don't see from that movie alone, see what's going on in our country, the darkness, those things that have got to be cleaned up before a generation is lost. Well, that's where our priorities should be.
Indeed, indeed. Governor Sarah Palin, really good having you on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.